The transformative leadership of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, modernizing Turkey and shaping its national identity. RK to lead the Turkish War of Independence, and how did he become a symbol of Turkish nationalism? Mustafa Kemal Atatürk was inspired to lead the Turkish War of Independence because he saw the Ottoman Empire's defeat in World War I and the subsequent occupation of the country as a threat to Turkish sovereignty and independence. He saw the need to defend the rights and future of the Turkish people and to establish a new, democratic, and secular state. Atatürk's leadership during the War of Independence and his vision for a modern, democratic Turkey helped to make him a symbol of Turkish nationalism. He implemented a series of reforms aimed at modernizing and westernizing Turkish society, including the adoption of a new Turkish alphabet, the promotion of education and women's rights, and the establishment of a secular state. He also sought to build a strong, centralized government and a modern, industrialized economy. Atatürk's leadership and the reforms he implemented helped to establish Turkey as a modern, democratic nation and solidified his place as a symbol of Turkish nationalism. His legacy continues to be celebrated in Turkey, where his ideas and vision for the country remain an important part of the national identity. Atatürk's reforms shaped modern Turkey, and what were some of his most significant achievements as a leader? Atatürk's reforms had a profound impact on modern Turkey and shaped the country into what it is today. His visionary leadership and progressive policies ushered in a new era of social, cultural, and economic development in Turkey, transforming it from an impoverished, traditional society into a modern, secular, and democratic nation. Here are some of Atatürk's most significant achievements as a leader. 1. Introduction of the Turkish Republic. Atatürk founded the Turkish Republic on October 29, 1923, following the defeat of the Ottoman Empire in World War I. This marked the beginning of a new era in Turkish history and paved the way for the country's rapid modernization. 2. Secularization of the state. Atatürk implemented a series of reforms to secularize the state, separating religion from politics and governance. This included the abolition of the Islamic Caliphate, the closure of religious schools, and the adoption of a new legal code based on European models. 3. Women's rights. Atatürk championed women's rights and introduced a series of reforms to improve their status in Turkish society. This included granting women the right to vote and run for public office, encouraging education and employment opportunities for women, and promoting gender equality. 4. Education reforms. Atatürk recognized the importance of education in building a modern and prosperous society and introduced a series of reforms to modernize the Turkish education system. This included the establishment of new schools and universities, the promotion of scientific and technical education, and the adoption of a new Latin-based Turkish alphabet. 5. Economic reforms. Atatürk introduced a series of economic reforms aimed at promoting industrialization and economic growth in Turkey. This included the establishment of state-owned industries, the promotion of foreign investment, and the implementation of modern economic policies. 6. Nationalism. Atatürk promoted a sense of Turkish nationalism and national identity, encouraging unity and pride in the Turkish people. This included the adoption of a new Turkish flag and the promotion of Turkish language and culture. Overall, Atatürk's reforms transformed Turkey into a modern, secular, and democratic nation, laying the foundation for its continued progress and development. His legacy continues to shape modern Turkey and inspire people around the world. Some text goes here. RK's vision for the role of women in Turkish society. And how did he work to advance their rights and opportunities? Some text goes here. Atatürk believed that women should be equal to men in every aspect of society, and he worked tirelessly to advance their rights and opportunities. He recognized that the traditional patriarchal culture in Turkey was holding women back and preventing the country from achieving its full potential. Atatürk's vision for the role of women in Turkish society was based on the principles of equality, education, and empowerment. He believed that women should have the same access to education, employment, and political participation as men. 1. Women's suffrage. In 1934, Atatürk granted women the right to vote and run for office, making Turkey one of the first countries in the world to grant full political rights to women. 2. Education reforms. Ataturk recognized that education was key to empowering women and promoting gender equality. He encouraged the establishment of new schools and universities for girls, and urged families to send their daughters to school. 3. Legal reforms. Ataturk introduced a new legal code based on European models that recognized women's rights and prohibited discrimination on the basis of gender. He also abolished traditional Islamic laws that restricted women's rights. 4. Employment opportunities. Ataturk encouraged women to enter the workforce and promoted equal pay for equal work. He established training programs and employment agencies for women and encouraged the establishment of women's cooperatives and trade unions. 5. Social reforms. Ataturk promoted social reforms that aimed to improve the status of women in Turkish society. He encouraged women to participate in sports, arts, and cultural activities, and urged them to take an active role in public life. Overall, Ataturk's reforms had a profound impact on the role of women in Turkish society, paving the way for greater gender equality and empowerment. Today, Turkish women enjoy many of the same rights and opportunities as men, and are active participants in all aspects of Turkish society. 4. How did Ataturk's leadership style and political philosophy differ from those of other world leaders of his time? Ataturk's leadership style and political philosophy differed from those of other world leaders of his time in several key ways. First, Ataturk was a strong advocate for democracy and secularism, which was a unique position among leaders in the region and around the world during his time. He believed in the separation of religion and state and promoted religious tolerance and equality. This was in contrast to many leaders in the region, who were religious leaders or used religion as a basis for their political power. Second, Ataturk was a strong advocate for modernization and westernization, which was also a unique position among leaders in the region and around the world during his time. He believed that Turkey needed to adopt Western ideas, institutions, and technology in order to modernize and catch up with the rest of the world. This was in contrast to many leaders in the region, who were more traditional and resisted Western influence. Finally, Ataturk was a charismatic and authoritarian leader, who believed in a strong, centralized government. He was willing to take bold and decisive actions to achieve his goals and was not afraid to use military force when necessary. This was in contrast to many leaders in the region and around the world during his time, who were more indecisive or limited in their ability to act. Some text goes here. Ark's legacy influenced Turkey's relationship with the West, and how did his policies impact Turkey's global standing? Some text goes here. Ataturk's legacy has had a lasting impact on Turkey's relationship with the West and its global standing. Ataturk's policies of modernization and westernization helped to establish Turkey as a modern, democratic nation and position the country closer to the West. His commitment to democracy, secularism, and religious tolerance helped to align Turkey with Western values and ideals. This has helped to foster positive relationships between Turkey and Western nations, including the United States and European countries. Ataturk's policies also helped to modernize the Turkish economy and increase its global standing. By promoting education, industrialization, and modernization, he helped to establish Turkey as a modern, industrialized nation and a key player in the global economy. However, Ataturk's legacy has also had a complex impact on Turkey's relationship with the West and its global standing. On one hand, his commitment to democracy and secularism has been seen as a positive and has helped to foster positive relationships with Western nations. On the other hand, his authoritarian leadership style and strong, centralized government have been seen as a negative by some in the West, and have contributed to concerns about human rights and democracy in Turkey. Overall, Ataturk's legacy has had a significant impact on Turkey's relationship with the West and its global standing, and continues to shape the country's political and economic development today. Some text goes here. Ark's role in promoting education and modernization in Turkey, and how did he encourage the country's intellectual and artistic growth? Some text goes here. Ataturk played a central role in promoting education and modernization in Turkey, and he was a strong advocate for the country's intellectual and artistic growth. First, Ataturk believed that education was the key to modernizing and westernizing Turkish society, and he made education a priority in his reforms. He implemented a series of educational reforms aimed at promoting literacy, scientific knowledge, and critical thinking, and he encouraged the development of a modern, secular education system that was accessible to all citizens. Second, Ataturk encouraged the country's intellectual and artistic growth by promoting freedom of thought and expression. He believed that a free and open society was essential to promoting creativity, innovation, and progress, and he took steps to protect freedom of speech, the press, and artistic expression. Third, Ataturk encouraged the country's intellectual and artistic growth by promoting cultural exchange and understanding. He believed that cultural exchange was essential to promoting tolerance and understanding among different groups, and he took steps to promote cultural exchange with other nations. He also encouraged the development of Turkish art, literature, and music, and he was a patron of the arts himself. In summary, Ataturk played a central role in promoting education and modernization in Turkey, and he encouraged the country's intellectual and artistic growth through his commitment to education, freedom of thought and expression, and cultural exchange. Some text goes here. Ataturk's leadership during World War II shaped Turkey's neutrality, and what impact did this have on the country's foreign policy? Some text goes here. Ataturk did not lead Turkey during World War II, as he passed away in 1938, before the war started. However, his legacy and the principles he established during his leadership played a significant role in shaping Turkey's neutrality during the war and its foreign policy in the post-war era. At the outbreak of World War II, Turkey declared its neutrality and maintained a policy of non-belligerency throughout the war. This policy was largely shaped by Ataturk's vision of a modern, secular, and independent Turkey that was free from foreign domination and interference. Ataturk had emphasized the importance of maintaining good relations with all countries and avoiding Ataturk's approach to religious and ethnic minorities was one of tolerance and pluralism. He believed in the equality of all citizens, regardless of religion or ethnicity, and worked to promote this ideal through his policies and actions. One of the key ways in which Ataturk promoted tolerance and pluralism was by implementing a series of reforms aimed at separating religion and state. He believed that the state should be neutral with regards to religion and that all citizens should be free to practice their religion without interference from the state. To this end, he abolished the Ottoman Caliphate and took steps to reduce the influence of religious institutions in the country. 8. What was Ataturk's approach to religious and ethnic minorities, and how did he work to promote tolerance and pluralism in Turkey? Ataturk also promoted education as a way of promoting tolerance and pluralism. He believed that education was the key to promoting understanding and respect among different groups, and he made education a priority in his reforms. He implemented a series of educational reforms aimed at promoting literacy, scientific knowledge, and critical thinking, which helped to promote tolerance and pluralism in Turkish society. Finally, Ataturk promoted tolerance and pluralism through his own actions and leadership. He was known for his strong commitment to democratic values, and he demonstrated this by promoting religious and ethnic tolerance in his speeches and actions. He also took steps to protect the rights of minority groups, including Kurds, Armenians, and Greeks, and worked to promote understanding and cooperation among different groups in Turkish society. Some text goes here Ataturk's leadership and legacy, and how can his ideas and principles continue to inspire us today. Some text goes here. Ataturk's leadership and legacy offer many valuable lessons that can inspire and guide us today. Here are a few key examples. 1. Importance of vision and determination. Ataturk was a visionary leader who had a clear sense of where he wanted to take Turkey and the steps he needed to take to get there. He was determined, persistent, and unwavering in his commitment to transforming Turkey into a modern, secular, and independent nation. Ataturk's example teaches us the importance of having a clear vision and the determination to see it through, even in the face of opposition or adversity. 2. Emphasis on education and modernization. Ataturk recognized that education was key to modernizing Turkey and empowering its citizens. He established a comprehensive system of education and encouraged scientific and technological progress. Ataturk's emphasis on education and modernization offers an important lesson for today's world, where education and innovation are essential to economic growth, social progress, and global competitiveness. 3. Commitment to democracy and human rights. Ataturk believed in the principles of democracy, human rights, and individual freedom. He established a democratic system of government and introduced a new legal code that recognized human rights and prohibited discrimination. Ataturk's commitment to democracy and human rights serves as a reminder that these values are essential to creating a just and equitable society. 4. Importance of national unity and identity. Ataturk emphasized the importance of national unity and identity, and worked to create a sense of shared purpose and belonging among Turkey's diverse population. He encouraged Turks to embrace their history, culture, and traditions while also embracing modernity and progress. Ataturk's example teaches us that a strong sense of national identity and unity can help to build a more cohesive and resilient society. 10. How does Ataturk's vision for a modern and secular Turkey continue to shape the country's political and cultural identity today? First, Ataturk's commitment to secularism and the separation of religion and state remains a cornerstone of Turkish political identity. Despite challenges and changes in the political landscape, the secular nature of the state and the importance of separating religion and state continue to be widely accepted and respected in Turkey. Second, Ataturk's emphasis on education and modernization continues to shape the country's cultural and economic identity. His reforms help to establish Turkey as a modern, industrialized nation, and his emphasis on education has helped to promote literacy, scientific knowledge, and critical thinking in Turkish society. Third, Ataturk's legacy continues to be a source of national pride and a key part of Turkish national identity. His ideas and vision for Turkey continue to be widely celebrated and revered, and his image remains a ubiquitous presence in Turkish public life. Finally, Ataturk's ideas and policies continue to shape the political discourse in Turkey. His commitment to democracy, secularism, and modernization remain relevant and continue to be the subject of ongoing political debates and discussions. In summary, Ataturk's vision for a modern and secular Turkey continues to shape the country's political and cultural identity in significant and enduring ways, and his legacy continues to play a central role in shaping the national identity and political discourse in Turkey. Some text goes here Ataturk's stance on democracy and the role of the people in governance, and how did this shape Turkey's political landscape? Some text goes here. Ataturk was a strong believer in democracy and believed that the people should have a say in the governance of their country. He believed that a democratic system of government was essential for building a just and prosperous society, and he worked to establish a democratic system of government in Turkey. Ataturk believed that democracy required the participation of all citizens, regardless of their social status, gender, or religion. He encouraged political participation and created a system of local governance that allowed citizens to have a say in the decisions that affected their daily lives. At the same time, Ataturk recognized that democracy was not something that could be achieved overnight. He believed that democracy required education, institutional development, and the establishment of a strong legal framework that recognized human rights and individual freedom. Ataturk's vision of democracy and governance had a significant impact on Turkey's political landscape. He established a parliamentary system of government, with free and fair elections, and he encouraged the formation of political parties. He also introduced a new legal code that recognized human rights and prohibited discrimination. Ataturk's commitment to democracy helped to create a vibrant and dynamic political culture in Turkey. However, Turkey's democratic system has faced challenges over the years, with periods of military intervention and restrictions on freedom of speech and assembly. Nevertheless, Ataturk's legacy continues to inspire many Turks to fight for democracy and the rule of law, and to work towards creating a more just and equitable society. 12. How did Ataturk's military background influence his leadership and decision-making style as a politician and statesman? Ataturk's military background had a significant influence on his leadership and decision-making style as a politician and statesman. First, Ataturk's military training and experience gave him a strong sense of discipline and a focus on order and efficiency. He was known for his ability to make quick and decisive decisions, and for his willingness to take bold and decisive actions to achieve his goals. Second, Ataturk's military background gave him a strong sense of patriotism and nationalism, which was a key factor in his decision to lead the Turkish War of Independence and his vision for a modern and independent Turkey. He was a strong advocate for Turkish sovereignty and independence, and he was willing to use military force when necessary to defend the rights and interests of the Turkish people. Third, Ataturk's military background gave him a strong sense of strategy and an understanding of the importance of organization and planning. He was able to apply these skills to his leadership and decision-making, and he was known for his ability to plan and execute complex political and military strategies. Finally, Ataturk's military background gave him a strong sense of authority and leadership. He was able to inspire and motivate others through his leadership, and his charismatic and authoritarian style helped to establish him as a strong and decisive leader. In summary, Ataturk's military background had a significant influence on his leadership and decision-making style as a politician and statesman. His military training and experience gave him a sense of discipline, patriotism, strategy, and leadership that helped to establish him as a strong and decisive leader and a key figure in Turkish history. Some text goes here. Arkay's approach to economic development, and how did he work to promote growth and prosperity in Turkey? Some text goes here. Ataturk's approach to economic development was focused on modernization and industrialization. He believed that Turkey needed to modernize its economy and adopt Western ideas, institutions, and technology in order to catch up with the rest of the world and achieve prosperity. To promote economic development, Ataturk implemented a series of reforms aimed at modernizing the Turkish economy. He promoted education and the adoption of modern technologies, and he worked to build a strong, centralized government that could support economic development. He also established a series of state-owned industries and businesses, which helped to modernize the economy and create jobs. Ataturk also worked to promote trade and investment in Turkey. He encouraged foreign investment and trade, and he took steps to reduce trade barriers and promote economic integration with other countries. He believed that trade and investment were essential to promoting economic growth and prosperity in Turkey. Finally, Ataturk promoted economic development through his own leadership and vision. He was a strong advocate for modernization and industrialization, and he believed that these were key to the future prosperity of Turkey. He inspired others with his vision for a modern, prosperous Turkey and motivated them to work towards this goal. In summary, Ataturk's approach to economic development was focused on modernization and industrialization, and he implemented a series of reforms aimed at promoting education, trade, investment, and industrialization in order to achieve growth and prosperity in Turkey. 14. How did Ataturk's leadership during the early years of the Turkish Republic influence the country's modernization and industrialization efforts? Ataturk's leadership during the early years of the Turkish Republic played a crucial role in the country's modernization and industrialization efforts. First, Ataturk implemented a series of reforms aimed at modernizing and westernizing Turkish society. He promoted education, women's rights, and the adoption of modern technologies, which helped to modernize and industrialize the country. Second, Ataturk played a key role in building a strong, centralized government that could support modernization and industrialization efforts. He established a series of state-owned industries and businesses, which helped to modernize the economy and create jobs. He also took steps to modernize the legal and financial systems, which helped to create a favorable environment for investment and economic growth. Third, Ataturk's leadership and vision inspired others to work towards modernization and industrialization. He was a strong advocate for modernization and industrialization, and he believed that these were key to the future prosperity of Turkey. He inspired others with his vision for a modern, prosperous Turkey and motivated them to work towards this goal. Finally, Ataturk's leadership helped to create a favorable environment for modernization and industrialization. He took steps to reduce trade barriers and promote economic integration with other countries, and he encouraged foreign investment and trade. He also promoted a favorable business climate by reducing corruption and promoting transparency and accountability. In summary, Ataturk's leadership during the early years of the Turkish Republic played a crucial role in the country's modernization and industrialization efforts. He implemented reforms, built a strong government, inspired others, and created a favorable environment for economic growth and development. Some text goes here. Arkay's role in shaping Turkey's foreign policy and relationships with other nations, and how did he navigate regional and global challenges? Some text goes here. Ataturk played a significant role in shaping Turkey's foreign policy and relationships with other nations. He was a strong advocate for Turkish sovereignty and independence, and he believed that Turkey should pursue an active and independent foreign policy that served the interests of the Turkish people. To this end, Ataturk navigated regional and global challenges by pursuing a policy of neutrality and non-alignment. He believed that Turkey should avoid being drawn into the rivalries and conflicts of other nations, and he sought to maintain good relations with all countries. He also took steps to modernize and strengthen the Turkish military, which helped to increase the country's security and independence in the region. Ataturk also played an important role in shaping Turkey's relationships with other nations. He took steps to promote trade and investment with other countries, and he sought to establish good relations with the United States, European countries, and other nations around the world. He also took steps to promote cultural exchange and understanding, which helped to foster positive relationships with other nations. Finally, Ataturk navigated regional and global challenges through his own leadership and vision. He was a strong advocate for peace and stability, and he believed that Turkey should be a positive force for good in the world. He inspired others with his vision for a peaceful, prosperous, and independent Turkey, and he motivated them to work towards this goal. In summary, Ataturk played a significant role in shaping Turkey's foreign policy and relationships with other nations. He navigated regional and global challenges through his pursuit of a policy of neutrality, non-alignment, trade, and cultural exchange, and through his own leadership and vision for a peaceful and prosperous Turkey.